How you doing? I'm Michael Bell, the voice of Duke.
Hi, this is Adrienne Palicki, Lady J from G.I. Joe.
Hey there, it's Rachel Nichols, aka Scarlet.
And if you're listening,
And you're listening to
And you are listening to Anything Joe's, a collaborative journey through the world of G.I. Joe with Greg and Jaren.
Yo, Joe!
Got my G.I. Joes, got my comic books, watching cartoon episodes. Watch me go and box, dead stop, Jaren on his toes. Watch me go and lock a whole new world you never know. On my freaking block, on my block, anything Joe's. Roll my badger into work today. Yes, sir, no, sir. I can't call this work today. I'm too clutch. Ain't no pun intended. Call me sir today. Check the prices out. My collection feeling bird today. Anything Joe. 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 Joe.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Anything Joe's, a collaborative journey through the world of G.I. Joe. My name is Greg Engel,
And I'm Jaren Decker.
and we'll be your host today. Today on Anything Joe's, it's finally here, the conclusion of Arise Serpentor, Arise Part 5. An episode which actually has Serpentor in it, if you can believe it.
Shocker.
I know, after all this build-up, it's crazy that it took this long to craft the origin as it is. And maybe part of that's because they had to find 50 different pieces of DNA to make it happen. Jaren, in the last episode, we were really ripping into him for the inconsistency on how many pieces of famous people they needed to make Serpentor and the failing logic that went behind it. And I found a little piece of research that might give us a little bit of an insight. It's from the G.I. Joe Field Manual, which, if you're not familiar with, is a 2-volume set that was released that contained a lot of I would say preliminary designs for the characters in the show. It's an interesting look at the kind of like a behind the scenes and how they designed. But, the character designs themselves, I don't think are anything, it's interesting and nothing else. However, there's a lot of stuff from the cartoon that you don't see anywhere else. We talk a lot about the vehicles, especially. And I was able to find a page that was referencing Arise Serpentor Arise specifically. It's this one. This page, which has multiple images from, different pieces of history. You see Ulrich the Batterer, which I guess is from Viking times. And also, you guys know I don't know history, but I'm going to assume everybody else in here, I'm pretty sure is a real guy. I'm going to assume that was a real famous Viking also. He didn't get a movie made about him, so he couldn't have been that great. Genghis Khan plus statues. That's a reference to the episode's a few of my favorite things. There's an episode specifically focusing on Serpentor reliving memories of the specific personalities that live within him. He's collecting these statues for memorabilia or something. I'm not exactly sure, but that's what this is referencing. Alexander the Great, Henry VIII. I am. I don't remember them talking about Henry VIII at all because he was just a fat jerk. The Julius Caesar statue, Ivan the Terrible, Portrait of Rasputin, Napoleon, Vlad the Impaler Tepes, Dracula, Montezuma, and Amon Toth are all pictured here on this page. So we can assume that those are all definitely, even though I don't remember some of those being mentioned specifically, we can assume those were all DNAs that were used. Okay.
So I just did a Google search because I like to do that. The only thing that pops up when I search Ulrich the Batterer is just that information from this page.
Okay.
And people talking about Arise Serpentor Arise. So apparently not. Apparently they couldn't find a real Viking.
You can't think of one more. I don't know. You can't think of one more bad dictator to throw in the mix. On the caption for this page, it says genetic donors, and it also lists Alexander the Great, Attila the Hun, Eric the Red, Genghis Khan, Geronimo. I don't remember that coming up. Grigory Rasputin, Hannibal, Henry VIII, Ivan the Terrible, Julius Caesar, Montezuma, Napoleon, Philip II, King Takshaka, Ulrich the Batterer, Vlad the Impaler, William the Conqueror, Xerxes I. That's a ton of people, man. A lot of these I feel like are not ever referenced again. I don't even know that all of those guys are referenced in the cartoon. I guess they were bulked into the dozens others that were stolen. Sometime between now and us finishing the movie, I will have worked out a legitimate checklist of this is the DNA we saw. This is the DNA that's mentioned. This is the DNA that we don't really are sure of. And then this is the comic book DNA also, because it is different in several ways. Complicated. But interesting, and I thought I would bring it up since it was one of the few times that I've actually was able to find reference material related to what we're talking about. So with that all on our plate, let's dive into the final part of Arise Serpentor Rise and see what this madman's brilliant plan is.
Inspired by a bizarre dream to create a Cobra Emperor from the DNA of long dead
So much math in
Dr.
Dr. Mindbender's
Mindbender
brain.
raided a series of
I
ancient
appreciate
tombs,
that. He's
only
dreaming
to
of
be
math.
denied the vital DNA of Chinese warlord Sun Tzu by Sergeant Slaughter. But Dr. Mindbender captured Sergeant
This is
Slaughter
almost exactly
during
the
an
same
attack upon
previously
the tomb
on,
of
and I
Genghis
guess they've just
Khan
tacked on
and
this stuff that
extracted
happened
his
in the
DNA
last
in place of
episode.
Sun Tzu's. But then Cobra Commander secretly contaminated the genetic matrix, creating a mindless creature. Sergeant Slaughter escaped, only to be recaptured
Meatball
when
man.
Beachhead and the rescue party were shot down over Cobra Island. Once again, Dr. Mindbender began his unholy experiment, and this time, Serpentor, the Cobra Emperor, was born at last. And now, the exciting climax of Arise Serpentor.
He arose, Serpentor. Okay, so that's actually a pretty good previously on. Some previously ons will leave you a little dipped out, especially when you're on the last part. But basically, if you've not been following along or you haven't watched it in a long time, they stole the DNA that we've been talking about. They got it pretty easily. If I'm being, they only really stopped them at one spot, and the Sarge stepped in to lend his DNA out in a pinch, because apparently you have to have it exactly that specific number or it doesn't work. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, we spent at least close to 2 hours of watching it just to get to this moment. And unfortunately, we only have this brief 20-minute window where we're actually going to get to see him in action.
Wait till we tell Zartan and Cobra Commander how we blasted them Joes. Yeah, was that something or was that something? Kaboom! Blew the blokes right out of the
I think it was
air.
something.
I guess it was something. I don't remember it.
Hey, it's Xandar reference.
Yeah. They're just waiting on them to come in the door. They had no plan. It wasn't even an ambush. They were like, hey, we're just going to stand here. When whoever comes in, we're going to get them. What a brilliant strategy.
Doesn't matter who opens that door, we're just gonna jump them.
Yeah, it could be the B team and they're down.
Easier way of settling disputes?
Yeah, Lifeline. It's called a gun.
See anything up ahead, left ticket?
A little light.
So we already talked about what a pill Lifeline is, and that unfortunately will continue. There was a nice little moment with Lowlight where I know Lowlight is a figure that you've been into recently from the Classified series. So it makes me happy to be able to say, hey, here's finally you're going to get to see the man in action himself. There's a very well-known Lowlight cartoon episode that we should visit in the near future that I think you would really enjoy. It's like the one time he's really in the spotlight.
Looks
Nice.
like their command center. Pretty heavily guarded, too.
But our only bet for finding out where they're
And
keeping
there was,
Sergeant
what,
Slaughter.
3 dudes? And there's more
Yeah.
than 3 of you.
I do like that Live Ticket's it wasn't like, I'll stay here at the plane. He's actually gets involved.
And I must rule. This I command.
So we've hinted at this for quite a while, Jaron, and maybe you already know this because it's so part of the mythology, but in the cartoon exclusively, this is Serpentor's catchphrase. This I command. He says it all the time. He'll probably say it 20 times in this episode alone. So I just want to get out ahead of that. If you're like, why does he keep saying that? It doesn't trigger. It's not like some kind of Manchurian Candidate trigger or anything. He's just born. He was just born with a catchphrase, which is wild if you think about it, right? He's like, Dr. Mindbender's like, I got just the thing for him to say. He said, this I command. It's a great line. If I was commander, I would say this all the time.
Did you not see the silhouette that man cut under just a shawl?
Yeah.
He's 7 of you. He's huge.
First of all, I got a scoreboard right here that says Cobra salute on the board. This is the comic book salute. You can actually see, I'm sorry that we talk about this so much. I didn't even mean for it to be a talking point in long term. But in this particular salute, which we've obviously compared to a very familiar Nazi salute, they are kind of turning their hand up a little bit. Like, because again, let's not do the Nazi salute. This is still too close to it, guys. But
I don't think anyone's getting out their like angle thing and judging the wrist.
We've talked about it so much now that something that I've literally never looked at once in my entire life, I now always am like, there's no inconsistency. I mean, like, there's no consistency to it at all. It's different in the cartoon from episode to episode and also in the comic. So I'm just, now when I see it, I'm like, oh, there it is, mark it, just like when we see a weird vehicle. To back up to your earlier point, yes, Serpentor is a beast. We've seen Sarge defeat 35 bats all at once. I've seen him do
shot.
He got shot point blank and it just kind of stunned him. He had his soul ripped out twice is fine. So the idea that Serpentor can just be like, alley-oop, yeet, is really, they're like immediately laying the groundwork that this guy who has the DNA of Sarge in him is a baller, can fight. The exact opposite of Cobra Commander, who is often seen with cowardice, runs away. Serpentor backs down from nothing. It's cool.
Serpentor, attend me. I need suitable raiment.
So it shall be, O great and powerful one. Here is your uniform.
Rad, right? Okay, so here's the air chariot. Already pre-made. Looks great here. I don't know why there's no... he's like, I made your outfit. It's a helmet and a cape. So just let the little serpent dangle, my man. It'll incite fear in everyone. I mean, he is a clone. For all I know, he's a Ken doll down there. But...
That's when we find out that purple isn't actually pants. He's just got tattoos.
It's just there was a lack of oxygen when he was created down there. So it's...
Got them eating out of your hands, Serpentor. Of course, you and I know your primary function will be as a figurehead, a sterling symbol of the power and unanimity of Cobra. You will give them someone to look up to while I make all the important decisions.
Then start by deciding where you want to be buried.
Bap. Oh, so this is great. This is such a great arc, man. Cobra Commander consistently, episode to episode, is like, no, don't do that. Oh, you're going to do that? Well, I'm not going to let you do that. Oh, you've done that? Now I'm going to see if I can still somehow bend this to my advantage by immediately implanting in Serpentor's head, hey, you're going to be a great statue for this organization that I still run. Serpentor having none of that in what is one of multiple backhands just lays him out. And again, dude, if you backhand somebody and they go across the room, that's like Captain America levels of like strength. They are really, they're really making him seem like a Hulk in this. I don't think you see that represented elsewhere. Even in this, it's one of the rare times where he's like doing, I guess, legitimate hand-to-hand. In the movie, there's an amazing hand-to-hand sequence, and it doesn't seem like his strength level is on par here, because on par here, it doesn't seem like anybody should go hand-to-hand with him.
Don't be so aggressive. Still open to negotiation?
There can be no negotiation, you insolent microbe. I am not symbolic. I am your emperor and master.
I hear and obey, oh great Serpentor.
You had better shut up, Cobra Commander, before he really gets angry.
Sarge is back in shackles because that worked out so well the first time for him. I don't know if you guys know this, but you actually have another room where you can put your prisoners where they aren't privy to all of your private information. There's not a nearby button that just casually releases them to create havoc. If I own a Terrordrome, there is a jail cell in it with bars that slide open and close. I'm just saying.
I mean, also, they're the bad guys. They could just shoot them. I mean, it didn't work the best, but if you do it a few more times, maybe it'll work.
Jared, don't be so drastic, my man. Nobody ever dies in the cartoon. Sometimes even when it seems infeasible that there's no way they're not dead, and they'll be okay. If you think not killing somebody, let's save it for the movie. We got a whole great conversation about that coming up.
With all that I need to know, and the essence of my knowledge is this: I order, you obey and fear me.
Baloney! You talking
a good fight, but can you back it up?
Yeah, he threw you across the room. He can definitely back it up.
Yeah, pretty easily.
Being was to knock you unconscious.
Beginner's luck. I'd like to see you do that again, Serpentor.
Serpentor.
Any clown you give orders when his enemy's chained up.
I have had enough of your mockery, Sergeant Slaughter.
There we go.
Yeah, so, again.
Oh, well.
Yeah, he's shot his shackles off. So, first of all, I guess somebody in the Serpentor lineage is a sharpshooter. A little Lowlight DNA got mixed in there somewhere. Maybe Sarge had like one of Lowlight's blonde hairs on his head. It got dropped in. Now, I don't. Anyway, yes, Serpentor's primary weakness is that he rushes to decisions. He's prone to fits of anger. We just read something that said that because they lost Sun Tzu's DNA, that was supposed to keep him balanced, and that's why he's like this. It's his one weakness, which is actually pretty interesting. Something that I had never heard of or thought of as a kid. I just thought he was a hothead. He's made from a lot of really crappy people, so he probably was used to pushing people around and getting his way. I think actually either one of those theories stacks up.
Yeah, and not like Sarge is the most in action person. You know, like he's
Fair.
not necessarily a slow to action person in general. So
yeah, you could absolutely credit that substituting Sarge's DNA, who does love to fight clearly, and nothing wrong with that. It's kind of his job, but that would rub off on Serpentor as well. Serpentor dives off the air chariot and it just flies away. He's bad enough that he's using it indoors. First of all, the exhaust on that's got to be ferocious, but it's just like it's like a little kit from Knight Rider where it's just like, okay, Serpentor, I'll be back to catch you later. Pretty advanced technology.
Serpentor should not have accepted Sergeant Slaughter's challenge.
No duh.
Yes, he lacks patience. His genetic matrix has none of Sun Tzu's DNA.
Okay, so sometimes when I say things, I don't realize that they're going to just be literally put out on the blanket for us 30 seconds later. What I meant by the research was I actually was able to remember something in my advanced age that unfortunately was just immediately getting ready to happen. Sarge returns the favor and kicks him just as far across the room.
Sergeant Slaughter is mine.
oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, man.
Don't be such a crybaby, Mindbender. If your emperor is a weakling, we'd better learn about it now. Come on, Slaughter, kick his fangs in.
All good stuff.
Come on, Serpentor. Let's continue this outside.
My pleasure.
Yeah, or just, if you can get outside, just leave.
This we don't want to miss.
Sergeant Slaughter could run upstairs faster than Serpentor can fly up them. That's pretty...
Sportsmanship is not one of my attributes.
Cool, Zartan. When are we gonna get some action?
I'm with Sarana. Things are getting too dull around here.
So... now I know why they make a mention that somebody else voices Xandar in this episode, because we have heard Xandar's voice, admittedly very briefly, but Xandar's voice is very recognizable. It is crazy deep. It's so deep, I don't know how anybody does it without some kind of like voice modulation, and that did not sound like it. Now, we can excuse that because Xandar probably has 10 lines total in the entire continuity of G.I. Joe. But I had, when we were looking up information on it, that was one of the things they made note of, and I thought, why is this of note? And now I see it doesn't sound anything like what I'm used to hearing him. Even in earlier episodes, we heard him talk. He has a crazy deep voice. It's insane. Also, a big fan of these interior shots of the Terrordrome. We talked about this at length. I won't go into it again, but there again are the scale of the Terrordrome is so large. It's large enough that the air chariot can fly through it. You cannot fit an air chariot into the Terrordrome, I don't think. Not and close the outside doors. Cobra Commander just strolling through that hallway, just loving every minute of it.
Here, you. Where are you taking that console? Down your throat, maggot. Yo.
Heck yeah,
dude. Another great Trojan horse. G.I. Joe has a lot of stuff hidden inside stuff.
Yeah, you shouldn't trust anything ever.
Yeah, just shoot it all, man, just to be on the safe side. I would like to show you this panel where Mainframe is laughing at this Televiper taking a dive. He's like, he broke his neck. It's great. Let's take it. But this other shot I want to look at directly after it is right here.
Red.
Yeah, the laser. Not only is the laser
only one
red,
laser.
Yeah, but it is firing directly down. I'm talking 90-degree turn. I'm impressed with the air chariot's capabilities.
Then you run away. Just looking for more fight room, sucker. No riders allowed. Rack him up, Sarge.
Here in this shot, we can see some of the Joes that have... It's kind of been a weird running tally of who's been on this mission, but I see Airtight, I see Alpine, I see Blowtorch, I see Bazooka, I see Breaker, I see Cutter. It's going to get a little blurry here on these last three. Maybe another Airtight. And I'm pretty sure that Alpine and Bazooka are back on at the G.I. Joe base right now. So, just... yeah, choose your own adventure. Whoever you want to be on this island is here. Anybody from the 1986 lineup is yours to use in the Arise Serpentor Rise playset. Who said slaughterize him?
We can't kill. We can only, like, maim. And
that Mindbender runs in is like, hey, that's your new boss. So just like give him a round of applause. Televipers are like, yeah. This Serpentor immediately crashes into a console. Whole thing blows up. These guys are making a face like, yay, Corporate Commander. the one true living boss. Yeah.
Big fat deal.
Our new boss.
Bite him! Use the combination. 1, 2. Hey, where's...
What's the combination? Use the combination 1, 2. Punch him this one, and then punch him this time. Great strategy, Destro. True arm. I thought Mindbender said bite him, which seems maybe against the rules.
Cobra Commander.
I thought he was just getting a drink. I thought it was like cups.
Just kicking it.
Yeah. He's just chilling out.
Activating the bats to destroy Sergeant Slaughter and Serpentor, you traitorous twit. Now stand aside.
Check out my new portable soda stream.
Tastes just like Dr. Pepper.
So, Scrap Iron has, once again, flipped sides. He was bought off by Dr. Mindbender and then bought back by Cobra Commander, which really spells out just how much of a kind of like mercenary proponent he is in the cartoon, at least. Maybe more important than that is the fact that they like to carry their money around in little satchels that have the Cobra logo on them, which I think is very charming. We've talked about the Cobra currency before in Pure New Darkness. It's kind of a gray area. They have like Cobra coins or bucks. They have their own money. What do they spend it on? Soda stream machines, obviously.
Yeah. I like that there's never any repercussions for him for switching sides. They just outbid each other.
Neither of them even care, that he can just be flipped by outbidding him on eBay.
Insolent barbarian, you shall pay the ultimate price for your arrogance. Look out, Sarge! Televipers, look! They've assaulted your emperor!
Yeah, that's hate, man.
They defile our master. You will pay with your lives.
It's almost like they should have been fighting the whole time.
Yeah, right?
Instead of just standing there.
They were just in awe. They were like, hey, if the Televipers are going to watch, then so are we, man. Like, we came for a show and nothing else. There's so much going on in this episode. It's almost like they shouldn't have saved all of it for one big finale. The Televipers were literally just like immediately on board. They have hate on their little visor. They're just completely...
It's gonna get grim.
No, it's going to get awesome. This is amazing. This is the stuff I live for. Hey, you hit something. That counts.
And what are these?
Come on, guys. He's got enough slaughter in him to take you out.
Serpentor, when Sergeant Slaughter goes, baloney, Serpentor's like, yes, I know what baloney is. What is a robot? There's gonna have to be a little bit of a crossover between just how modernized Serpentor's knowledge is. Like, is he gonna be out, we're going to take over Washington, D.C. Wait a minute, these places are made with, what is brick? Like, I'm gonna have to assume that he knows most things at this point. That's awesome. Took the bat's head backwards.
Battling an army of super troopers would be
Hey, there's Bazooka and Alpine, who we definitely just saw fighting. I made a point of bringing it up, which we will not name, so it doesn't get any more complicated.
Such creatures would give Cobra absolute.
And here's exactly what he looks like.
Yes, we've not seen this guy. We don't know all we know is they're making him. We have no reports from Cobra Island, but it's me, Hawk. I'm a visual artist. If I had to assume they were making an outfit for him, I bet it would look just like this.
We got a hold of Mindbender Seamstress, and we know that he likes capes and not much else.
I mean, if anything, we know that Cobra's got a theme for the flamboyant, so yeah, they probably could have made an educated guess. Whoever the G.I. Joe seamstress is could probably be like, this is it. I'm surprised Hawk's not here. Like, what do you guys think they're going to do with all this DNA still?
General Hawk, that's just a computer.
He ain't real. I already tried to shoot him twice.
100%.
It's Bazooka. Bazooka's coming into the room that Bazooka's already in.
Got some good news and some bad news. The good news is we destroyed all the DNA Cobra collected.
Great job.
The bad news is Dr. Mindbender.
Cutter, who let you off the whale? You don't exist unless you're on the whale.
Smart, savvy, and strong, uglier than sin, and meaner than a junkyard dog.
Well, you don't really know him that well, Beachhead. I didn't think he was.
I resent that statement.
Yeah. Beachhead, you're going to call somebody ugly. You have literally never taken your mask off, ever. I mean, that says a lot, I think. Hey, here we got a Cobra salute, but this time you make a fist, not the hand. You think they mean different things? Please write in and let me know what you think about the Cobra salute, and what's the proper one, and why does it change so much?
Left arm?
Yeah.
Left arm now?
It's wild to me. There's a weird line running down this panel. You think somebody painted this and was like, this is too beautiful for this purposes. I'm going to take it home.
This very existence offends me. Does it not sicken and offend you?
I mean, we're kind of used to it at this point. It's the second season. The best run we've actually ever had was leading up to today.
It's kind of our standard operating procedure, really.
Yeah,
we're being honest.
Oh, sure, that's it. Blame me. Never mind your own cowardice and incompetence.
Silence, you vociferous little worm!
Get him, Papa.
We shall invade the United States and subjugate G.I. Joe.
Or at least
he knows the United States.
Yeah, but not robots. Wow, man, they were like, that was like a ton of vehicles.
Crazy, there's one Techno Viper for all of that.
Yeah.
Experience to lead Cobra, you insufferable egomaniac. You know nothing of our struggle against
Cobra Commander got a little snapback.
our relative strengths, weaknesses, or strategies.
Oh, blammo. That's like a slow-mo.
He wanted him to feel every knuckle.
Created fully sentient, all-knowing, and all-powerful.
With all due respect, O mighty Serpentor, we beg you to reconsider. Invasion is easy,
but holding U.S. territory is all but impossible.
For Serpentor, nothing is impossible.
Sheesh. A rare scenario where Tomax and Zaymot would actually both be feeling the normal pain that they should be feeling. Something that we don't see a lot of. What were they feeling? They were being choked. Which one? Both of them.
Cobra's been too quiet for too long. We're going to go...
Man, look at how big this headquarters is. There's no chairs, no tables. I guess maybe they were supposed to put vehicles in here, but it's still a weird place to be having a meeting. I just like there's no ambiance here at all, man. Put up.
You know, Hawk's got to be the kind of guy that's like, if you got time to lean, you got time to clean.
I mean, in this place, it'd be an all day thing. Sweeping this place and mopping it would take forever.
Stage a little preemptive strike before their new leader can.
Oh, good, the radar. Oh, wait.
Yeah. So we've seen in previous episodes that the radar can detect something as small as like one air raven. Is that what they're called? Night Raven. Man, I'm bad with vehicle names lately. But here, the radar is incapable, as Jared has alluded, the radar is incapable of picking it up, and they're already there, man. They're blowing it up right now. If you guys got the early release system, maybe you guys should roll it out.
If only our elite fighting team had some kind of technology to tell when a giant enemy force is coming.
Yeah, they just rolled right in. Hey guys, just wanted to say that's what I thought he was going to look like. I'm so excited. I drew him right. All right, so it's on. So it's full on invasion time. We're here and we're slapping the bombs on the Capitol. We're leaving bombs. Interestingly enough, this Viper slapped a bomb down and left a weird Predator handprint where his hands were. You can see right through it. I don't really have an explanation for that. They just cut and paste something weird. That's a weird. Also, it looks like he used box tape to box it to the top of the Capitol. It's like tape here and tape there. That's probably, it doesn't look like it's going to hold. Quite frankly, it looks like an OG Xbox that's painted like cardboard. It doesn't look like a box or a bomb at all. But that might be because it looks like a Predator's holding onto it right now.
It functions at least.
Yeah, it blew up real good. They've rolled right onto the front lawn, which is just bad taste. Oh, they've rolled right through the front door.
I'm pretty sure I've seen this happen with Gerard Butler before.
It was probably based on this.
Yeah. Then Channing Tatum did the same thing at almost exactly the same time.
Then we'll simply call it an airstrike.
Night Raven 1 to Destro. We have the Pentagon dead in our sights.
Great detailing on that Night Raven. Like the inside of it had tons of.
Affirmative.
So in addition to gas weapons, we see that the Night Raven is also equipped with lasers, missiles, and high explosives. You think that's just bombs? Obviously, in a military, we wouldn't expect laser to be written on it because most of us are like comic book military enthusiasts. I guess gas is actually pretty unlikely as well. I don't know. You know what? I don't know anything about anything.
Maybe it's nuclear. They just didn't want to do it.
Yeah, the two big buttons beneath it aren't even labeled. That's just like air conditioning and self-destruct. Don't press the wrong one. Man, it's really hot. Okay, so the bombs detach, fall straight down, and they have gas in them. I can actually believe that.
That's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, I don't know anything about how military stuff works. We need a gun guy big time.
Yeah.
Paging Gary V. come educate us.
Bad news indeed.
So much for our hopes of a single stunning victory. To you, my loyal.
Is that thing on its side? Like, did it wreck?
Yeah, no, it was definitely tipped over. It was on 2 wheels maximum. Okay. So back at the Capitol, not only is everything on fire, which is a real bummer, but were like first priority, set everything on fire. Second priority, let's get a big snake thing on the top so people know how cool we are. We got to keep our branding on point at all times.
Yeah.
It actually looks like a radio tower. Not the same thing we were just looking at. Also, hey, there's another Cobra salute. Also fist. Different arm. Well, guys, get it together, man. Just Serpentor, I'm not looking for anything other than a little bit of consistency in your military forces. Whatever that snake thing was we just saw, it was not the throne, because he's built the throne in the lap of Abe Lincoln at the Lincoln Memorial, which is a pretty bold move. It's got a great look to it. They're going to show a great shot of him in Abe Lincoln's lap. It's a great Yeah, there it is. I love it. Build me a little shrine in Lincoln. The visual behind it is, I get it. He's like, I'm taking over. This guy's unimportant, but it actually makes Serpentor look like I'm a little baby Serpentor, and Daddy Abe Lincoln takes care of me all the time.
Bring the senators and congressmen before me. I order you to surrender G.I. Joe and the president to me.
No. I'm enthusiastically shaking my head no. Did not check these guys for weapons or anything. It was just like, come on in.
We will not cooperate with you or your totalitarian regime.
You will do as I say, or I shall burn your nation to the...
The way his hand came up, it looked like he was raising his right hand, but it was like on the left side. I don't know. It just looked a little weird.
Yeah, so no,
your angle. It looks real weird.
You're right. It looks like he's like, oh, I just realized they put the wrong hands on the wrong arms.
Brown, this I command.
I got them fixed. They're interchangeable.
We have no choice but to do as you command. For now.
See how meekly I'll obey the
That was a really quick switch up.
Yeah, that was not a lot of fortitude there, my man.
Very realistic. Maybe the most realistic thing.
Yeah. Nobody even questions that you're going to burn it to the ground, but you obviously want to take it over. I like that. I like that too.
Possibly hold Washington, much less conquer the entire United States. I know. I tried.
You tried.
Tell him.
Failed. Already the president.
I love a Where's Waldo puzzle.
Kneel before your master, you pathetic losers.
What a jump! I've been to the Lincoln Memorial. That's was quite the dive.
Well, Your Highness.
Yeah, he's a real specimen.
Wait, I demanded the surrender of G.I. Joe as well. Where is their representative?
G.I. Joe?
Never heard of him.
Right here.
Hey, so Flint, when you're going to open a briefcase and it has a gun in it, maybe don't open it towards the guy you're going to shoot, because we all saw that like at least 2 seconds before. I mean, I was able to pause it, and you're not even there yet, man. You're so busy preoccupied on making sure everybody knows it's you, Flint. You didn't even think about the fact that anybody with even the base level reaction time, even in Cobra, could have been like, oh, gun. I'm just saying. All you had to do was just rotate it around, my dude. Yep, just rotate it around. And also, your first 2 shots missed. So, I mean, it's on par for G.I. Joe performance this miniseries.
You're watching Dirty Harry or something.
Every single representative was a G.I. Joe in disguise, which is amazing to me.
Did Beachhead not give it away? Like the guy with
the right. Mask? Senator Mask Face, what do you think about
You got Sci-Fi, you got Beachhead, all these guys with big masks.
Wow, that's a heck of a kick.
Yeah.
Bring up our reinforcements from the airport. There are Joes inside. Annihilate them.
You can actually see that shot of the snake thing at the top, and there was like a little construction crane where they were still working on it.
Come on, man, I haven't even got my Cobra thing up yet.
A lot of green shirts in that shot. They got a weird, like, whoa.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was cool. They had like a weird little fortified shield thing going on inside. Lincoln Memorial looks completely recovered. The throne was completely erased. No damage done at all.
I know how to fire a laser. You need every hand you can get.
For once, Cobra Commander, you are right.
Man, the amount of people that can shoot a chain in this show really makes you question why they can't shoot a body anywhere else in combat.
They can hit a little 2-inch chain, but they can't hit a 6'8", 300 pound.
I'm saying it's very, very convenient. Again, more downward shooting that I don't understand.
Cross country looks like the kind of guy who would enjoy the Cobra salute.
Poor cross country. He's just misunderstood. You just joined this miniseries. I do like the Dreadnought bikes.
It's really hard in some of these shots to not just imagine that that's Zartan's luscious hair.
Yes, that was a common misconception. And for a perfectly good reason, it's drawn that way a lot.
Why are you running in place? It's faster if you actually move.
The rivers aren't as powerful now as they used to be back then.
I see snake meat on the Potomac. Yo, Joe!
We see him slipstream. Let us take care of him. Yo, Joe!
Yes, I'm actually successfully doing something. We want to turn.
Stem the tide. What? Follow me. We'll make our stand at the Jefferson Memorial.
A place that I know very well somehow.
We're whipping the scales off them on land, sea, and air. Now let's finish the job. Yo, Joe! They're through fighting and on
So, G.I. Joe's had the worst track record of all time in this miniseries. And yet, somehow, here at the end, they've gotten it together. And now they are an impeccable fighting force that we know and love. I will make a note that they were unable to blow up that stun or hit anybody in that last shot, but apparently that's enough to run them off. And while we're stopped, I would also like to bring up that a big crux of the reason Serpentor's plan seems to have failed is that Destro says they've run out of ammunition, which, okay, they fired lasers. I'm still not real clear on how that works, and fuel. So basically, the most basic, like, Emperor 101, if you're going to take over a place, make sure you got enough resources. Why didn't they see somewhere on the U.S. that had those resources if they were in so dire need? Why didn't they just top off before they left? It's only been 7 minutes. I guess I'm just getting at the idea that that's the failure in this scenario is pretty thin. That he seemed to be doing pretty good up until this moment.
You know, maybe instead of getting like 13 leaders, you get like 7 and also Sun Tzu. Apparently, he is very important.
He would have been really important. I'd like to see that version of Serpentor.
Put the lid on this can of fangs.
They got poor green shirts just doing on infantry duty. These guys are doomed.
You guys don't get a ride. You have to run.
Yeah.
Only temporarily, do you hear? Serpentor cannot be vanquished. Come back,
These poor 7 Vipers are like, there's no getting out of this. Landed on the street. My man, get a promotion.
Excellent. Bring me the brave.
Oh, what do you think about that, champ? It's me.
Funny how you never know who your friends are, isn't it?
The rest of you get aboard. I'll deal with this scum.
No! Take me along! I saved you!
Never! You will.
Why? You could have killed him at any amount of time.
But who will you blame when your loyal Vipers realize how imperfect you really are? You need me for a scapegoat. My lord.
There's another great example of the air chair just being like, I'll meet you guys back at the base. I'm gonna go I'm gonna stop at Subway on the way home. You guys want anything? Also, a great shot
Yeah, I
the.
was gonna say I've never realized this Night Raven has like the stairs that go into it.
Yeah,
that's a really cool design.
I mean, it's not really quite like this because it's more like that's how you kind of get into the canopy. This is again another example of This is probably pretty, I don't know, even this looks kind of big, but this is probably closer to what we would consider to be accurate military scale compared to the toy, which most of the toys, especially the bigger ones, are not accurate scale at all. This, I think, would be a little bit closer. And so I think sometimes the toy reflects an idea that doesn't work at toy scale, but when you get it blown up to the actual proportions, is actually really cool. Not Raven rules.
All right,
And it's gone!
Get those hands up.
Washington's a little
I guess we're done.
The town's
I guess that's it.
to me.
We won a major victory today, but it's not over. Serpentor's one tough cookie, and Cobra forces will follow him to the gates of oblivion.
We'll have to keep on our toes from now on. The price of liberty is always eternal vigilance. Yo, Joe!
Oh, hey, Scarlett. Didn't even know you were in this one. So, before we watch our PSA, first of all, really quick wrap up, right? You can tell that time was getting short. You could already tell that when this episode started because it wasn't paced the way I would pace it. And I get it. It's kind of hard to write this story. It's like when, it always makes me think of when you're writing something with Venom in it from the Spider-Man universe. My whole life, Venom was an awesome character. And every time that they would try to adapt him into a cartoon or a movie or anything, they'd go, okay, what's the origin of Venom? Well, let me tell you, they pulled Spider-Man off into an alien planet by a guy named the Beyonder. And they fought. All the Marvel guys were there, and they all fought. And then when they were at the end, Spider-Man goes to a machine and makes a new suit. And it's a black symbiote. Anyway, you get the idea. It's an impossible story to tell outside of Secret Wars continuity, and it makes sense. And so if you watch literally anything from my childhood that has Venom in it, it's always like, oh, J. Jonah Jameson brought it back from him on a space mission, or I made him in a lab. They've tried to adapt it to make it fit into the continuity better. It's hard to adapt this much story into one little piece, and it does suffer a little bit as a result. And the ending, I think, is extremely abrupt. They basically are like, okay, G.I. Joe got it together. They're here to stop us. We're out of ammunition and fuel, so I guess we lose. Let's leave. And that's it. They're gone. I mean, like, literally, they don't even get a prisoner. G.I. Joe is like, we won. Well, did you really? I mean, like, let's look at the scorecards. You didn't stop them from doing the thing that they wanted to do. The only thing you stopped is the new guy from doing the very first thing he set out to do. We could assume that he's going to learn from this, and the next time we see him, he'll have better plans. That's TBD. Because Serpentor basically takes over for the majority of the second season. The second season is a very interesting watch because most times the plans are coming from Serpentor himself. But over the course of the season, there are episodes where, first of all, Cobra Commander from here on out, well, at least until the movie, kind of acts more like Duke. He's more like the field commander going forward, which is a very interesting turn for him, a guy that almost never went out into combat ever. But at some points in the episode, you can see that Cobra Commander has started to kind of win people back over. People are tired of Serpentor because and it's not hard to understand why. He's very difficult to deal with. He turns on his own people. He doesn't have the knowledge that, he's not a perfect specimen. He's lacking information that makes him make flaws in his plans. And you'll see several of those plans in the second season where he fails numerous times. And so kind of, by the end of the second season, Cobra Commander started to win enough favor that you could think, oh, maybe it could go either way. And they kind of lead off with that until the movie releases, which changes everything dramatically. So
that's close to that.
Yes, we're basically there. Arise Serpentor Arise is concluded. And the very next animated project that we start will be the movie. Jaren's first viewing, who knows how many. Well, I haven't seen it since they showed it in the theater. I went to that showing. I haven't watched it since then. And although I do watch it, I don't know, it's the kind of thing that you put on in the background and watch regularly, or at least I do. Jaren, do you have, now that this is all wrapped up, I feel like you should have as good of an understanding of Serpentor as anybody. The comic book origin does not deviate significantly from this. It is different in many ways, but it's basically it's the same concept. What do you think about Serpentor?
I love him. He's wild and weird and doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but also he's incredible and just bad at everything in all the right ways. It's amazing.
Do you think
he's more physical than anyone on Cobra has been? I think in anything I've seen so far. So
when you learn about a character like this for the first time, like you have an actual real understanding of that character, does that influence your toy life? Does it, like, have you ever been like, oh, this makes me want to bring this figure back out, or do toy photography, or pose him differently?
I mean, yes, I would definitely say it does. Nothing so far with Serpentor because I'm not that clever. But I think even like low light, like seeing him, I'm like, oh, like I like the way, like it informs the character a little bit. So like when I do, because I haven't posted any really toy photography in a while, but I've been taking more recently. So I probably should start posting again. But it helps kind of fill in the backstory, for low light and for characters. I mean, for Serpentor, it definitely makes me more. He's definitely more willing to be running around, rolling in the mud, fighting Sergeant Slaughter than anyone else would be. So that helps.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a big fan of this series, and let's see. Now we've watched Arise Serpentor Arise, and we watched Pyramid of Darkness. So we still have to watch the original 2 mini series, or why can I not keep these all straight? We need to watch the one with the Weather Dominator and the Mass Device. Yes, the 2 original miniseries, I think. Again, I don't know why, but I have a hard time keeping them all straight. We will get to those. These 5-parters are the blueprint of the cartoon. If you only watched these, I think that's acceptable, because these are where everything happens. This is the best stuff, in my opinion. All right,
I've seen the Mass Device.
Okay.
I've not seen the Weather Dominator. The Mass Device is the one I watched. Shoot, it'll be 4 years ago next month.
Oh wow!
Whenever my son was born, when we were in the hospital, I watched the Mass Device. So.
Well, we'll eventually revisit that for the sake of this show, but we'll prioritize the one you haven't seen at all first. And we'll probably pop in some single episodes in here and there, because there are some individual episodes that I just think are great views, or are just funny to me. A lot of the 2-parters almost always are considered iconic, and we'll go to the community as well and ask them what they would like for us to watch, their favorite episodes, or episodes they think are the most entertaining. All right, that's going to do it for us today. We'll be back in 2 short weeks with even more content. Plenty of stuff on the YouTube channel right now. I've just been kind of working in my free time on weird projects that interest me specifically, and perhaps no one else. But if you have time and you're interested in looking at something, I just released the next episode of Speech Bubbles. It's Destro Returns. I think it's really good. I have been trying to improve the voices, and I've said this many times, but I'd be open to any feedback from the community on that, as well as we try to cast the perfect voice for each character in the series. You can write on with any thoughts of that as well. Probably the most useful thing would be if you have someone in mind that you think does a voice that's perfect, let me know, and I'll see what I can do with that. I also recently released a remastered episode of G.I. Joe Extreme Season 1 Episode 1. I'll talk more about this on a regular later episode, but I tracked down an unusual German DVD that has the first 6 episodes on it. I'm not 100% sure where the origin of these episodes was. The DVD itself almost certainly seems to be a bootleg, but it has a professionally mastered menu and everything. I feel like it's a higher quality than what I've seen before, and it certainly was higher quality than what I already had on my hard drive. So I took it, I started working on it, I de-interlaced it because it's got a European signal, some other technical stuff. I've run it through some filters, I tried to clean it up. I think it turned out great, quite frankly. Much better than I expected, and I thought, man, I want to share this with everybody. So I put it up, and yeah, it's free to watch. There's no bells and whistles. I got one ad for the show, for the channel at the end. It looks great. I know G.I. Joe Extreme is a very, very, very specific diagram of people that have any interest in it at all. But if you are interested in it, please check it out and let me know what you think about it. If there's enough interest, I'll keep working on them, because it is kind of time consuming, but I like doing restorative work on, or just, you know, in general, I like making stuff that I think will be useful for G.I. Joe enthusiasts for years to come, and hopefully that qualifies, since it doesn't look like they're ever going to remaster it or even put it up on their YouTube channel. Anyway, that's going to do it for us today. Thanks so much for watching, and we look forward to talking to you again in just 2 short weeks, where anything's available for discussion here on Anything Joe's.
In a world of heroes and villains at war, G.I. Joe fights for freedom forevermore. Cobra commanders reign of defeat. His subordinates plot a plan complete. Arise, Serpentor. Arise, a leader forged from the world's worst guys. Dr. Mindbenders dream of might. Cobra's new champion assemble. War, hill in sight. Genetic material of legends past, combined in a clone, the die is cast. G.I. Joe decides to recruit the Sarge. It doesn't take long before he's in charge. Arise, Serpentor. Arise, a leader forged from the world's worst guys. The Joes prepare a deadly barrage, while Cobra Commander attempts some sabotage. Cobra Island ignites in a clash. Faster than you can make a kit bash. Serpentor rises, a force to be reckoned. Now the commander must come when beckoned. This I command. Arise, Serpentor! Arise! A leader forged from the world's worst guys. Which one of our heroes will be the first to fall? And who's gonna fight this giant meatball? Yo, Joe! Yo, Joe! The battle rage is on. Heroes stand strong. The villains are gone. But Serpentor's shadow looms large and wide. 12% casualties, but no one died.